Good morning, drummers! My name's Jared O'Leary. I've been playing the drums for over 20 years, but I still got plenty of stuff to work on, especially because, I march snare. But today, I'm doing tenors. Alright, we're going to be working on Beatlicious, which is from the book Quadlogic, which you can find a link to that, actually, on my website. If you go to Jared O'Leary, wrong button, .com. That's not the URL. JaredO'Leary.com/wrong button. No. Don't go there. That'll take you to my 404 error page, which has a giant cat doodle that'll eat you. True story. All right, so if you go to jaredoleary.com/gear, or if you're on the drum page and you go to gear I use, or you go to the lessons page and you click on books I recommend, you can click on rudimental and then boop, Quadlogic. This is one I'll be working on. So this is a phenomenal book for just like getting used to move around on the drums and whatnot. So I've been going through it, and a couple weeks ago I started learning Beatlicious, and I haven't played it since, so I forgot like all of it. So we'll work on that today. But first, we're going to warm up and stretch and massage, then do a post warm up, and then I'll actually get on that Beatlicious grind. I am gonna warm up with slow paradiddle. So under the chops exercises, these are playlists. Some of them are. This has 9 variations of some chop exercises that you can use for slow paradiddle, which gets its name from the accent pattern. It creates a paradiddle. And we're going to do slow paradiddle with chutichuhs. Okay, so we're going to slow this down because my hands are not at all warm up yet. I can't speak. One of those mornings, I guess. All right, so we're going to start off at 100. And then we'll go up by like 5s or 10s, etc. Okay. All of the play-alongs have timestamps in the description, so you can jump to a specific BPM. Paradiddle, paradiddle. Yeah. Hopefully you can play along when I'm drumming. And if it gets too fast, that's okay. You can always slow it down. This one goes as slow as 40. And it takes almost 2 minutes just to get through it 1 rep. That is a good use of 2 minutes of your time because you can refine your technique. Slowly get better. Emphasis on slowly. Ghost Elite W on Twitch. Hello. Good morning. So I'm curious, Ghost, why did you decide to stream on Twitch as opposed to on YouTube? My day is going good. Busy day today, but it's good. I'm going to record a couple of videos after this, record a podcast, then I'm going to help a friend out with their percussion equipment. Thank you, Simon. Sometimes. Other times, not so much. Depends on the instrument. But I've been trying to get better at match since I march traditional. So what I was trying to say before I messed up is I'm trying to get better at match because I march traditional, so I'm still not as good as I used to be. A shadow of my former self, as one might say. It sounds better. It just doesn't feel as good yet. The left hand is like, no, you played the other way for years. I know. Yeah. That was weird. For some reason, you sign in on your dad's account. That's interesting. Huh. Well, hopefully you can get that fixed. I don't know if you can multi-stream from the PlayStation directly from it. Because, like, I do a capture card, so it goes from the PlayStation to my monitor and into my streaming computer when I use the PlayStation. So, that's interesting. Let's go by fives. And then I'm going to get to 140, and then I'm going to stretch and massage. Yeah, YouTube just has, like, what, 10, 100 times more people? And it's a better discovery algorithm. Twitch is fixing that in the fall, but we'll see how good it is. Weird. Ouch. But because like multi-streaming, it just means you can get different audiences. So like if anyone happens to stumble upon my content on Kick, then cool, they can find the free drumming stuff, or on Facebook, or on YouTube, or on Twitch, or wherever. Eventually on TikTok, but I don't have 1,000 followers on there yet. One day. Oof. Alright, last rep. And then we'll stretch and massage. A lot of notes. That's a fun variation. I like it. There are 8 more variations on there. Stream quality is much better on... Yeah, YouTube does compress it, but YouTube stores it at least. Alright. Simon's on 2 different platforms. Appreciate you. Okay, so I'm going to hold my sticks like this. This is a weird one. So I got to make sure I demonstrate it slowly. So you take one hand, you pull in. The other one, you follow through, and oh, yeah. It's nice. Ooh, it's a good stretch. Yeah, one of the problems with Twitch, though, is it doesn't always show up great on mobile if you are on, like, 5G. If you're not, like, a partner, they don't give you preference, and so it like shows up as like 480p or something like that, as opposed to like 1080 at the minimum. So that's one problem with it. But okay, so if you do traditional, which would be weird on tenor, so you hold it that way, and then you go the other way and you hold it there. All right, now I'm gonna stretch the tendons. So I could do one at a time. Oh yeah, could do it on the wall. The lower you go, the deeper the stretch, or you could do it on your pad. I'm gonna do it that way. Don't put all your weight into it. Man, my next few days are gonna be busy. Today's a busy day as is, and then the next few days I'll be going over the final revisions for Dr. Stottlemeyer's dissertation. It's a doc student I've been supervising. Well, yeah, I guess technically a doc student, but he's a doctor now. But now I'm gonna stretch here. And then I'm going to do that on the pad. Again, you could do this on the wall. Higher you go, the deeper the stretch. So what's cool about Dr. Stottlemeyer's dissertation is he looked at high school students who were coding music. And since like my PhD is in music education, but I've been teaching computer science education for the last 9 years, something like that, it just worked out that I could supervise them on that. Get some cool findings. Stay tuned for the official publication coming out on August 11th, I think. Okay, now I'm going to stretch. Thumb to thumb. I need this. My hands feel tight this morning. I even gave it like extra massages and whatnot. Coding music, yas. So, there's a platform called Sonic Pi. And Sonic Pi uses the programming language called Ruby, which is syntax light, and it allows you to live code or compose music. So with the live coding side of things, there's a thing called algoraving. So an algorave is where like you put like your computer screen behind you, display it like on a big projector, and then you live code music. And so you like start with just writing out the code for and then you add in scats, scat, etc. And you just keep building and building, and you add in layers of music and whatnot. And you can actually find it on my website. I'll show you. Okay. So if you go to the coding and CS section, under, whoa, just like closed it out. That was weird. Okay, there's a music and coding section. Then this has some information on the intersections of music and code, but the Sonic Pi section is also specifically about music and coding. So like I created an infinite drum set in here. So if you go down under these examples, let's make this, yeah. Where's the advanced one? Okay, so this one, nope. Where? Yeah, okay, so this one. This is what an infinite drum set sounds like, where it's got like repeats and whatnot, so that you don't know what it's going to sound like whenever you play it. So you change the seed at the top, you give it a different number right here, and it'll give you a different set of infinite grooves and rhythms and whatnot. So it's fun. But yeah, Sonic Pi is free, so you can actually download that on any platform. You can do that on Mac, Linux, Windows, I pronounce that funny, Raspberry Pi, etc. But it's really cool. So I highly recommend taking a look at Sonic Pi. You just go to download here or sonic-pi.net, and that's how you can do that. So like, it shows you some very easy examples. Like if you click on the examples section right here, you can see like here's the code to make the music that you would hear on the right. And it's got like a Bach fugue is one of the ones that's an example that you can do. But it's really cool, like seeing people not only compose stuff, but also the live coding aspect. Super nerdy. So it kind of relates to my dissertation. So my dissertation, if you go into the publication section and scroll down a bit, this one, so a corpus-assisted discourse analysis of music-related practices discussed within chipmusic.org. It's a mouthful, but so this one, if you go to the direct link right here, you can see some other intersections of music and code that people engaged in for chiptunes, which is like making music with old video game hardware and consoles and whatnot. So if you go into chapter 4 in particular, and you scroll down to the coding practices, you can see some of that, as well as like the maker practices, which is like the hardware modifications. So like this is really fascinating, the ways that people like modify their Game Boys and whatnot. And if you actually scroll all the way to the end in the appendices, I've got like this person made a vaporizer out of a Wii remote. They built in a screen on their Nintendo. They added in the player controls on their Mario, like their not Mario, their Nintendo. So like there's a lot of really interesting findings from the dissertation. It's super nerdy. Like this allows you to get a better audio capture when you are like coding music and whatnot. So it's neat. But that kind of coding music is with a tracker, which is a little bit different. But sorry, I just got extra nerdy there. I didn't expect the rant on that. But let's get back into stretching. Yeah, it's interesting what people are doing with that. Ghost, so what was your thought vlogging? What do you mean by that? I had fun doing it. It was just like, hey, I want my wife and I to be able to remember this trip to Hawaii. And so I made the video for us. And for anyone else, like family members and friends who wanted to check it out, they could. But it was like a good representation of this is what that like 8 days was like when we were in Hawaii. And so whenever I watch it, it just makes me happy. Because it was a fun trip and great time with my wife. And I just happened to share it publicly. Oof. Man, my left hand is tight. I may have over-massaged and stretched it last night. Like, I was in a meeting last night, and I was just, like, sitting there just, like, massaging. And my hands, like, actually feel worse than before I started massaging it last night. Oh, well. Ooh, yeah. Just kind of going through and massaging each one of the fingers. Nice is right. My wife is very nice. Friendly person. This is a fun process, too, creating that vlog. I've never created anything like that before. Like, most of the videos I've done have been instructional videos. Like, I've made several hundred of those, like, for the old company that I worked for. And then now I'm making it for my channel. And then, like, obviously all the gaming stuff. So it was interesting, like, doing in real life content. It was fun, though. Which, if anyone's interested in that, the vlog is, if you scroll down to the life section, it's right there under the vlogs. Anyways, let's try and go a little faster, just to intentionally burn my hands out. And then we're going to play Beatlicious. At least attempt to. Gotta relearn it. Been too long. Paradiddle, paradiddle. That was actually my chop out point, so. All right, that was fun, though. Cool. So this play along, if anyone's joining, it's found on my website, jaredoleary.com/drum. 1,600 hours of free content. I've been adding a new play along every day for the last year and a half. That's a lot of content. Hence why there's like over 600 grid variations, 259 in triplet, 364 in 16th note. So stay tuned for more. All right, so now I'm going to work on the book Quad Logic. Again, if you go to Books I Recommend and go to Rudimental, it's this one. So I'm going to pull it up on my screen. I took a picture of it, of the physical book that I own. But I can't show you because, you know, copyright. I don't want to get sued. I want Bill Bachman to make all the monies. He seems like a cool dude. Hi, wife.
Hi.
Strong wife.
Strong.
Very strong.
Strong wife.
Okay. Let me pull out my Tenor sticks. Alright, so Quad Logic has some solos at the end, and this one is interesting. It's only a page long, but it's fast, and too fast for me right now. Let's see here. Pull out my metronome. Beep, bop, bop, bop. No, I don't want to rate this metronome app. You're a metronome. Let's slow this down to 40. Oops, releases on Spock. First measure. Okay, actually, I'll show you this view so you can see a little bit better. So you can see my bad playing zones. All right, next measure. Alternating. What? Oh, okay. So we have hertas, and we go digga da da digga Yeah, so the right hand stays over here. And that is an accent release. Okay, so next we got... Oh, release on the spot. Okay, that whole measure. Interesting. Yeah, so you got Joe Morella's Master Studies. Yeah. So that one's an interesting book. It's got a ton of permutations and stuff. So if you go up, the one that Simon is talking about, so you can find here. So there's Master Studies 1 and 2, and so it's got a lot of different permutations of different rhythmic combinations, sticking, etc. So these are some classics. Accents and Rebounds is also a classic. Stick Control is like the one that everybody and their mom knows. But if you want like some real complicated like stuff, like if you're doing like concert snare, next up would be Mitchell Peters. But then this one is where it gets really fun when you get into Cerrone. And then if you want to get extra nerdy, this is like graduate level, usually speaking. Like I did it in my undergrad, but it's usually done for grad school. These are Beatlicious has a series of books. So like there's Kais Clariana 1 and 2, and then there's the 12 Etudes, this one. That's what that means. So yeah, they're fun. And then for drum kit, there's a bunch of stuff. So plenty of things, depending on what it is that you want to work on. Many ways to play this stuff. So I like all these books. I've got like behind the computer a whole bookshelf of just like music books and whatnot. So I'm a nerd. I've got every one of the ones on my website and like 3 times as many more. Some of them I don't necessarily recommend, but anyways. All right. Okay, so that's the first line. Let's do the first line again. Technically, that's part of the second line. Okay, so that measure. Okay, so just alternating flams. Kind of a fun little thing. Yeah, so flam there. And then the right hand release. Okay. Chut, 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 chut. Oh, chutta chut. Okay. Ah, yeah. No, Morella's got hands. For drum kit, if you're into limb independent stuff, depending on what style you play, Don Moyle's book, 50 Ways to Syncopation, is the one that I was working on yesterday and like having myself on. That's a good one for it. But another really good one, if you're into like rock or even like R&B, hip hop, etc., you can apply it to it. It's a book called New Breed 1 and 2 by Gary Chester. So if you go on here, hold up so I can actually see it. So this explains like the approach to limb independence and whatnot to make it so you can play whatever you want with whatever it is that you're working on. Those I highly recommend, those 2 books, and then Dom's book if you're into jazz and Latin, and then a little bit of like funk and some rock and whatnot. But New Breed is mainly for like rock, so they're good. Very good system. And then on my website, it actually talks about like how I approach it. Granted, I'm not great at drum kit at all, but I'm practicing, trying to get better at least. Whoopsies. Hit the screen. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, so it's drum 3 and 1. Okay. Yeah, there are 2 new breeds. The second book is not as well known, but it's the similar idea. It's got some new, I forget how he phrased it, like melodies and I forget if he called it ostinatos, but if you've played New Breed 1, you know what I'm talking about. But basically the different patterns and then a whole different set of like charts to read through. So they're good. And if you use the link on my website, I get $1 billion. That's how affiliate links work, right? Actually, they work surprisingly well. Like, I had somebody, they bought, like, school supplies for their classroom, and I got, like, a few bucks from it. I was like, oh, that's random. I don't know why it's showing me what people buy, but thank you. It has nothing to do with what's on my website, but somebody used an affiliate link. All right, let's try that measure again. 1 and 2 and Caden. Well, I'm glad to hear that it was useful for you. Yeah, I keep adding more stuff every single day onto the website. And now I'm adding more of like the scratch stuff for like coding stuff, so always creating content. And if you like that content, all I ask is just share it with somebody else. Just gets it out to more people. Let's do the first 3 measures. 1, 2, here, right, go. Oops, that's drum 2, not drum 4. Okay, so now the next part is alternating. So we've got whoops, missed a spot. B, 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 B. Okay, and then da. All right, interesting. Oh yeah. What book am I practicing right now? I'll show you. So this is a solo that is from the book under the rudimental section on my /gear page, and it is doggo called Quad Logic. So this is from. So the first like main section of it. Don't sue me, Bill Bachman, I'm promoting your book. So it's got a ton of like, here's how you like tune the drums, here's how you move around on the drums, here's like proper playing zones, etc. And then it gives you a bunch of very basic exercises, which I like demonstrated on other streams, going through the majority of these, not all of them. But like it shows you here a ton of scrape exercises, crossover exercises, some just general exercises, and then it gets into the thing that I'm working on right now, which are like the solos at the end. And as much as I'd like to display the music, I don't want to get sued. So yeah, if you go to the books section and then click on Quad Logic, that's the one I'm working on. He's also got other books that are equally as good, if you're into just like general rudimental drumming or bass drum stuff. But then this is another good one. Jeff Queen, got a couple lessons from him. He's great. So, dude knows how to play. Anyway, let's pull this back up. All right. Let's try the last measure again that I was just doing. Oh, that's an accent. Whoops. All right. Yeah, it's good. I recommend it. If you're into tenor drumming, it's one that I had recommended for students and whatnot. It's a fun one. It's got some challenging stuff in it. Like this is 40 beats a minute, but I'm supposed to play it at 120. Whole thing up to there. I added an extra 30-second note. Oh, I added an extra rest. Oh, okay. I added in an extra 16th note right there. Oh, I'm fired. There we go. Okay. Now that I know the pattern. What is that emote doing? Oops. All right, next measure. Tut digga digga da digga digga da. Yeah. Okay, so goes to the left, then goes to the right for the diddles. Ah! Hit the microphone. My apologies. That explosion in your ears. Okay, and then we have, what is this? So we end here, and then, is that right? Digga digga okay. And then alternating, yeah. Is that right? Pom 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 pom. Yeah, okay. So we have double stops down the drums, and then you cross, and then you do the same thing that you just did. Cross, and then down the drums. Okay. So we have... Relax technique, folks. It's dangerous. Dude, let's try it again. Okay. So that line starts with the tap 5s, crossovers. All right, let's try the first 3 lines. Yeah, Bill Bachman is super skilled too. Like, that dude can play. Unfortunately could play. So he's getting back up to it, but he had a stroke, what was it, 4 years ago? Something like that. And so, like, he could not drum at all, which is, like, a total bummer. Because, like, this dude has hands, man. Like, if you watch the old videos of him, he's just, like, all around the drums, doing whatever, and, like, never hitting rim. It's like rims didn't exist for Bill Bachman. Yeah, I have quite a few friends who played at the halftimes for the NBA stuff. Like, I debated if I wanted to do that because they're, like, asking me to join, but it's just I didn't have time for it because of, like, grad school and whatnot. Ubiquitous illness. Yeah, that's actually in the book as well. So, we've got Beatlicious. We've got Guidance, which is another tenor solo. A cadence called Geek. And then this book also has Opie's Opus. And then... Oh, no, I thought it was in here. I'm wrong. But yeah, I totally know what you're talking about. It's a fantastic solo. Opie's Opus is also really good as well. But highly recommend. Don't sue me, Bill. I shared some of your music. Yeah, I can't imagine, like, having a stroke and being unable to do the thing that's, like, clearly his passion. He also does BMX, or did. But yeah, like, just to not be able to play. Like, this has been, like, literally therapeutic for me, being able to drum and being able to practice and whatnot. Like, it's just soothing. So I can't imagine not being able to do that. But I guess it just kind of presents, like, a new challenge. Like, all right, how do I retrain my brain to be able to do this thing? Strokes, man. Happens to all sorts of people. Got multiple relatives who have had it, unfortunately. Anyways, let's do the first 3 lines. 1, 2, here we go. Oops. Oops. Okay, yeah, I need to do that again. That was rough. Violent Tenor Ice Cream. Yeah, Violent Tenor Cream, and then there's the, that's a tap space book. There's, Violent Ice Cream, which is like the snare version of that. Woo! Loud noise. Thank you, Daniello. Daniello Skate. Appreciate the sub on YouTube. Yeah, it's a great book. Tap Space, has a bunch of stuff that I highly recommend. Even, like, for marimba and whatnot. Had some students who played some of their pieces. There's some good solos in there. So that's Jim Casella and Murray Gussick, I believe, are the co-owners of that company. At least they were last time I checked. I had their lawyers actually reach out to me several years ago because of a medley that I wrote. It had some excerpts of stuff in it, and it promoted their website in it, and their lawyers were being a bit heavy-handed. And so I clapped back and was like, no. This is not, in fact, a violation of copyright, and here's why. And by the way, here are some examples of where the owners of your company have violated copyright, which was kind of sassy of me to do. But they did reach out, and they're like, yeah, sorry, our lawyers were a bit off there. And they retracted it. Oh, Burton did, really? He had a heart attack? He lost perfect pitch. Interesting. Oh, that's rough, man. Yeah, Burton, I mean, literally invented the technique. So, it's, dude knows how to play. Well, I guess it's technically like a variation of cross grip and whatnot, but, what is it, the Mooser grip? I forget. It's been a long time, but I played mainly Stevens, unless I was doing vibe stuff, and then I'd do some Burton, but... All right, let's take a look at this last line of the first half. Okay, so it ends with a double stop, and then what are we doing? Cheese, cheese, cheese. Nope, over here. Okay. Oh, no. I need to scroll down so I can actually see it. Ends with the left on Spock. Interesting. That's a weird line. I'm going to ignore the metronome for a moment. Sorry. Yeah, here. Okay. So. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know he did that in high school. Huh. It's amazing how good some of these dudes are. Like, the last drum set teacher that I worked with, Don Moyle, who's the book that I was using yesterday in the stream. That dude graduated from high school and started teaching university. Because he's that good at playing drum kit. Like, he teaches private lessons to Steve Gadd's son. So if Steve Gadd sends your son to you to learn how to drum, you know you're good. So Dom is phenomenal. Very grateful I was able to get lessons with him so I could learn that whole drum kit thing. And then I had to put it on pause for the dissertation. That's okay, we're back at it now. All right, let's try this whole thing. Oh, nope, that was the wrong drums. It's not supposed to go there, it's supposed to go here. Let's try that whole line. I should start with the tap fives. 1, 2, ready, and... No! Let's do that again. Do that last line again. 2, ready, and... Perfect. 1, 2, ready, and... Yeah. 1, 2, ready, and... Okay. Whole thing again, and then we'll actually speed it up. 2, here we go. it ends on the of beat 2, so that's good. Success. Drinking coffee. It's giving me +7 energy. Yeah. Actually made a bunch of different coffee mugs like that are available. Print on demand is cool. You make the design, the company handles the rest. All right, let's attempt 45. 1, 2, here we go. Oops, no right hand release. Too used to ending on the right. Hey, I survived it. I added in an extra accent. So, you know. Whoops. Here's what it looks like from the front view. 1, 2, and here we go. It hit the. I was too far forward with my playing sounds, and it like caught on the little loopy thing here. You can't really see it on that. Oops. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, well, surviving so far. Let's go. I'm gonna try and get up to 60. So this is 55. And 1, 2. Wish me luck. Oh, released. Which, by the way, your comments about like what happened to Burton, and then my comments about like what happened with Bill with the stroke, like that's one of the reasons why I decided to not get degrees in performance, is because I got an injury with my elbow, and it made it so I couldn't drum for like over a month during my undergrad, and I had a professor that I was studying with at the time, Mark Sunkett, who has since passed away. But he was phenomenal player. But he got in like a car or a motorcycle accident rather, and it like messed up his playing a bit. So he wasn't able to play like he used to. And so like it was those experiences that made me go, wow, I need to really focus on like how to teach, because what happens if I get into like an accident or just like random injury or whatever, and it prevents that playing. So that's why I went into music ed. Fun fact. All right, let's try the whole thing. So this is at 60, and then we'll chomp out. 2, 1, 2. Last time. I didn't add in the extra note. Success. What is a story that you knew you wanted to go to music in general? Good question. So, trigger warning, suicidal discussion. So during my high school, well, let me back up. So I didn't start drumming until 8th grade, and I was really bad at it. And I started practicing and got better, and practiced even more because in high school I was depressed, like suicidal thoughts frequently. And drumming was my outlet from that. So thankfully I turned to like a healthy escape mentally and really got into practicing and whatnot and like drum corps and all that. So I started marching, I think my sophomore year in drum corps, the summer of. And during my undergrad, I decided to go into music education because the music was the one thing that like kept me alive. And I realized I didn't want to spend like 40 hours plus a week for the next 40 years doing something I didn't enjoy, which at that time I was thinking of doing programming, because like a computer programming, because like it paid well. But I realized I'd wanted to help people who might have similar experiences as I, who are coping with like depression and suicidality. And music was a way to do that. And so that's why I decided to go into music education. And like when I was exploring that, then it led me into like computer science education, ironically, and like all sorts of other stuff that I've been doing the last like decade. But I went into music because I wanted to help other people with it. So like I created my website in 2003, my senior year of high school, and started sharing music that I was writing or that I had permission to share from like the other composers, like other caption heads and stuff for drumlines, and was able to kind of like help other people around the world with that, not just my students. So that kind of got the bug in me to explore that. And I've been exploring my interests and whatnot since then, which is like why I got the PhD. It's so that way I could like explore how to become a better educator and also explore my interest in like music technology and like video games and whatnot, which is why I did the dissertation on chiptunes. But yeah, it's been a weird career, man. I've had so many different changes. Like the last 9 years I've been in computer science education, but I still am doing music education stuff on the side. And like now I'm doing this content creation stuff full time. So it's fun though. Trying to build something cool and creating all those resources that I wish I had in high school, like all the play-alongs. But cool. Well, that was the first half of Beatlicious. So what I'm going to do is work on the next half on, what is my next Tenor stream? I think on Sunday. So stay tuned for more. But if anyone is just tuning in, the book that I was using is this one, Quad Logic. So I highly recommend you take a look at it, and you can find that on my website. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'm very fortunate. I've had a very weird career, but like you can actually see like the trajectory of it on my CV. Like if you look at like the presentations I've done, if you go back to like the beginning, like it started with like video games and music, and then it like slowly evolved into coding in music, and then it evolved into just coding. Like it's a weird trajectory that I've gone on, but yeah, it's been a fun life. And hopefully will continue to be a long one. Anyways, the /gear is where you can find that book, but I'm going to chop out now. I want to play something fun. Got some classics there. I got a bunch of grid variations could play through as well. I'm feeling float drags again. Let's do it with flam drags. So the float drags is like a tom float. Actually, you might be able to see it. Yeah. So Tom Float signed his own sticks there. I happened to be at Disneyland when I was in high school. And, you know, because I'm the kind of person who brings sticks and pads so I can drum in the line to practice. And so I happened to have Tom Float sticks. We were marching with those that year and saw some dude playing on a trash can with a couple other people, and went up to him and was like at Disneyland. It's like part of the performance thing. So he's just drumming on it. went up to him afterwards and was chatting, and he's like, yeah, I used to teach Blue Devils, and saw his name tag with Tom, and didn't think anything of it, and walked away. And I was like, wait a minute, top Blue Devil's name is Tom, older gentleman. So I ran back and was like, wait, are you Tom Float? And he's like, yeah. So he did the Tom Float handshake, which like you snap, etc. And I was like, no way. So it was totally him. So he signed his own stick, and then a couple of other people who were performing with him signed it as well. So fun little random coincidence. Pad and sticks on trips. I've got enough of the tism that I obsess over things, and drumming is one of them. So I didn't want to miss an opportunity to practice. It's fun, though. Probably annoyed people on the lines, but at that point in time, I didn't care, but now I do. Oops, you can't see it. This is what I'm playing through. Sticks. They hit differently. All right, we're going to see how fast we can go until my hand spontaneously combusts. So I should probably ask my wife to get the fire extinguisher out, just in case. I had airport security one time try and tell me that a drum key was a weapon. Like, no, it's for tuning a drum. I had it in my backpack. Especially like it was one of those large, like high tension drum keys. And they were very concerned that I was going to attack people with it. It's like, no, I'm a nerd. I take my drum stuff with me everywhere. They let me through. Although I had one time I was presenting at a conference in Canada, and Border Patrol stopped me in Canada, and I was like, I'm going here for a conference. So I told him, look, hey, I'm coming to Canada, just be here for a few days, presenting at a conference, music education. And they like look in the rental car and they're like, oh, well, I don't see any musical instruments. It's like, it's a research conference. They're like, yeah, well, there's no music instruments there. So we don't believe you. Can you show us on the website your name where you're presenting? So I like had to show them, like, look, here's the website. Here's my name. I'm presenting on this topic on neoliberalism and corporate influence in education. And that's my name. Here's my ID, etc. They like harassed me for like 15 minutes. So I was like, okay. They didn't understand. Just because it's music education doesn't mean we're playing. I get your joke. It's good. This exercise. It's so much fun. I need to lower the heights a little bit. It's interesting. It's the flam taps that are getting heavy, that are slowing me down. Need to loosen them up a little bit. This might be the breaking point. Stay tuned, we'll find out. A little slow. No! No. That was a brain fart. My hands are definitely on the edge, but... Alright, just because we're almost there. Let's crash and burn with 200. Slowed down and crushed a lot of those diddles. Oh, that was fun though. Hoo-wee! If you want to play along to that and a few more variations of it, it's about 1,600 hours of free content. myname.com/drum. Plenty of stuff to keep you and I busy for a while. Speaking of, tomorrow I will be busy working on that whole drum kit thing. Not very good at it, so I'm going to practice it. I will do another Tenor stream on Sunday, yeah. So, Fortnite will be Saturday evening. Stardew most likely will be with the wifey on Sunday evening. These are all Eastern time, but if anyone's interested in seeing what I'm streaming, when I'm streaming, and like when I'm taking a break, which I'm taking one next week, yeah, Friday through Tuesday I won't be streaming, so. Stay tuned for plenty more. I appreciate everybody stopping by on the various channels and whatnot, on Twitch, on YouTube, and anyone who is silent on Facebook or Kick. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And Daniello Skate, I appreciate the sub on YouTube. And anyone else who's subbed on YouTube, it only notifies me if the subs are public. So if I didn't say thank you, sorry. YouTube didn't tell me. But cool, I'm going to call it. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.